Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 2, Episode 17, The People Under the Stairs. If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/WeArePodcast Network and youtube.com/WeArePodcast Network. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast, so what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
Camp Slash Horrorcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday, live on Twitch at 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm your head camp counselor, Duck. I'm here with other head camp counselors. First, we have Javi. May they burn in hell, Byres. Javi.
Burn in hell!
Burn in hell! How are you, Hobbs?
I'm fantastic. I fucking love this movie. I will go on record as saying, if you don't enjoy this movie, you're not the kind of person I want to be around. Deuces.
Boom. Next, we have Jay. Yeah, maybe the president will make me Secretary of Pussy McClintock. Jay, how are you, sir?
I am doing well.
Fuck yeah. Next, we got Greg. I don't want to kill you, but I will because I don't like you much anyway. McKinney. Greg, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks, buddy.
And finally, we got David. We done popped this house's cherry. Jessup. David, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Fuck yeah. We watched People Under the Stairs. Awesome movie. So I'm going to say right up front, this was Jay's pick. Released November 1st, 1991, with a running time of 102 minutes, budget of $6 million, made a box office of $31.4 million. Definitely made back its budget. Synopsis. Here's the fun part because I can't read. When young Fool breaks into a home of his family's greedy and uncaring landlords, he discovers a disturbing scenario where incestuous adult siblings have mutilated a number of boys and kept them imprisoned under the stairs in a large, creepy house. As Fool attempts to flee before the psychopaths can catch him, he meets their daughter, Alice, who has been spared in any extreme discipline by her deranged parents. Can Fool and Alice escape before it's too late? Can they? Well, we'll get to that. Yes, this movie is fucking great. So, real quick, new thing. We're going to watch the trailer because the trailer, I think, actually sets the mood for this movie pretty well.
I was actually going to ask you, Doc, if you wanted to start playing trailers at the beginning of these things.
Yeah, dude.
It's like you read my mind.
I think we need to. I think that's kind of a fun thing to do if I can figure out how to run the trailer because running tech here.
I'm taking myself back to 1991. I'm 10 years old. I was just the Grim Reaper for Halloween. I'm in 5th grade, so we run this school.
One participant.
I don't want to read.
Yeah, you don't have to. All right, here we go. People Under the Stairs trailer. Wait, we're not.
I can't see this stuff.
Yeah, we're not seeing it because
It's a real mystery.
Hold on.
You just got to minimize your VLC player.
In a world where you have to read, there's only one way out.
I'm dyslexic.
I'll tell you what, man.
Jay's memories.
You might want to hire Mommy and Daddy to actually be the engineers on this podcast. They're pretty good with some tech.
They had some fucking setup in that house. All right, here we go.
In every neighborhood, there is one house that adults whisper about and children cross the street to avoid. Now, Wes Craven, creator of A Nightmare on Elm Street, takes you inside.
Something's in there.
We gotta get out of here, Leroy.
All sorts of rumors about what goes on in that house. The police never took it serious.
She's been feeding that thing between the walls again.
Very,
I love the puppy.
tense about this.
What goes on in this house is a sin. But what goes on under the stairs is a nightmare. Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs.
Right on. There it is. The People Under the Stairs. All right, Jay, you picked the movie. What's your history with The People Under the Stairs?
Dude, I was a day one guy, man. Day one. Freddy's Dead just finished. Wes Craven was trying to separate himself from that franchise, and this trailer popped, and I was like, fuck yes. The main actor wasn't much older than me. I was like, this is like
Nerd.
Home Alone meets horror, and I was like, I'm here for it. Saw it. If it came out on November 1st, I saw it Saturday afternoon at like 2 in the afternoon.
Is this another one Grandma took you to see it?
One of the ones my good old granny took me to see.
Y'all went to the movies a lot, and she took you to risque movies.
Took me to like I had, it was basically like a 5-to-1 ratio. She'd watch like 5 of my just absolute shitty movies, and then I'd have to go watch like The Pelican Brief, or Dances with Wolves, like this, which was kind of torturous. But you know what? These are the prices you pay.
Do you think that made you a cinemaphile? Cinemaphile, is that the right word?
Well, I really like movies were a big thing for me and my sister, but when she got too cool for school and she became like a shitty teenager, which we all became, you know, she obviously didn't have time for her little brother anymore. So my granny, who grew up in an orphanage, she actually saw Gone with the Wind in the theaters. It's just one of the few things that helped her kind of escape the memories. She grew up in Bowles Home, which is a very famous orphanage in Dallas. And so the movies were always an escape. And to be honest, it really didn't matter what movies they were. She just liked doing it. She snuck in candy. She did the whole shebang. I think we spent maybe $18 in movie theater concessions in 15 years.
Yeah, but that's awesome, dude. Like almost every time you're like, me and my grandma went to see this movie, that movie, boom, boom, boom. So it feels like it plays heavily in your nostalgia. And you went back and forth between picking movies. You wanted to do Rawhide Rex, and then something Rawhead Rex, something else, and then this movie. But when you got to this movie, like, we're doing People Under the Stairs. We're doing it. We're going for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually mad at myself. I didn't think about this ahead of time.
Yeah, I'm excited we watched it, dude. I watched it today, and that's my history with it. I watched it today. David, same thing. You watched it last week, right? That's your complete history with it?
Yeah, it's one of those movies that kind of slipped under the radar. It was really weird. I was telling Jay that at the video store I worked here, we didn't even have it at the video store, you know? So, and I don't know why. I mean, the movie was wildly successful. You know, it was #1 for several weeks in a row, made a shit ton of money.
It's Wes Craven.
Yeah, it's Wes Craven. So, I mean, it was a small mom and pop video store in a small town, so I can kind of understand. But yeah, man, I was surprised I never saw it, but it was great. It was it was so 90s, you know, so 90s, but so fun. One of my favorite parts about it was, I always watch it with the subtitles on because Jay and I are talking back and forth, so I don't have it cranked up too loud. But at the one of the stair people, they referred to him as he was like leader of the people under the stairs. And the subtitles referred to him as Stairmaster.
Oh,
So,
I love it. Stairmaster. That's what I'm talking about.
and all he said was "grrr." So someone had to program like, fuck, what do I call this guy? He's the leader of stair people. He's the Stairmaster. Okay, arg, and that was it.
And Greg, awesome to see you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. What do you think? What is the first time you saw this one?
The first time I saw this movie was not very long after it came out. Maybe, what was it, 91? So 92 or 93, sometime after that, whenever it was on VHS. I saw it, and it scared the crap out of me. It was an intense movie. And now that I just watched it recently, looking back on it, I found more funny parts in it this time around.
Yeah, I would
So
agree.
there were some especially like goofy scenes where the dog like looks at the kid and then he looks at the couch, and you can tell the guy's hiding behind the couch. So there's, kind of a funny moment where he decides to go after the guy and the kid's not a threat.
And that dog was so fucking cute. And the thing was, it wasn't even vicious. They were putting in the bark, but it was just being adorable. And I just wanted to love it up the whole time. Javi, you were as enthusiastic about this movie as Jay was. What is your history with this movie?
All right, boys. You know how I always do. I'm going to paint the scene. Picture it. 70-year-old, curly-froed, chubby Javi, chilling on the beaches of Puerto Rico in the summer of 1993. I spent the whole summer there. My uncle always had like these 3 big-ass, I think they were like 24 by 32 cardboard boxes filled with VHS tapes, except for the third one that was always closed because he had the big cases. Porn. He loved
King.
King.
The king of porn.
King.
That was his name, and he was the king of porn.
And like every day, because we lived out in the country, we couldn't go to town. So every day he would like, all right, Jay, pick out a tape. And I picked up People Under the Stairs. He goes, well, that's a good one. So me, King, and my brother, we all watched that movie. I remember just fucking loving it. I always found it exciting. I wasn't ever scared of it, and I really like that Jesse from the Mighty Ducks and Jesse from the Sandlot was in this movie. And I remember the one thing that freaked me out was the fact that I was watching him eat Ving Rhames. That's the only part that really got me freaked out a little bit. But I just fucking love this movie. I saw it again today, and I was like, all right, this father is the shit. He is fucking hilarious and epic in the most insane way ever. I want to kill you!
Dude, it's so over the top and amazing. If I was a little kid and I saw this movie, it feels like a PG-13. It does, until you see the gruesome shit like eating Ving Rhames or anything else. But other than that, it feels like a kid's movie in a lot of ways. It's terrifying. It holds up. Like the suspense at the beginning when they come into the house and they're creeping around and like all the things happen, it works completely. But like it feels like a kid's movie. And that's what I really liked about it. And the only thing I knew about this movie was my mother said it was the scariest movie she ever saw. She couldn't finish it. Yeah. And so for the last 30-something years of my life, that's all I've thought is this is going to be a terrifying movie. It was scary, but it wasn't super scary. But I think if I saw this when I was a kid, I would have freaked the fuck out.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, David. Let's get into it.
I think one of the reasons why this movie works is if you've ever lived in an old house, there's always like that thing in the back of your head of somebody, and especially an old big house, that somebody's in the house with you. And what are those noises I'm hearing? And so that idea of someone living in the stairs, and I mean, it's kind of sad. My aunt, she died, she had dementia, but she used to think people were living in her attic. And, this movie was inspired by a real story about these kids that were being kept in the house by their parents and chained up. But I remember hearing about this story about a woman who was having an affair with this guy, and the guy was living in the house, but he was living like in the attic. And then one day the husband heard him snoring and went upstairs and caught the guy, and the guy murdered him. I think that there's always that weird thing of like, is there somebody in the house? And so I think that's one of the reasons why the movie works so well on that like scary level.
I think that whenever I go to take the trash out, I leave the garage door open, and I'm like, if somebody sneaks in, that could be fucked up. It'd be really crazy. You never know what could happen. There's been multiple instances of that, and like you said, this is based on a true story. These 2 guys robbed a house in California. And when they got there, they found that the children had been kept hostage in the house for years. And so the one crime led to an even bigger crime. And so that's where the idea of the story. And it's such an original idea, the idea that the second they get in there and rob the house, they're stuck in the house. And no matter what, the children that tried to escape before have never been able to escape. Like it's locked down that much. It's absolutely crazy. And there's something about house invasion, but whenever you inverse it, so the house invasion, the people whose house you're invading are the actual monsters. That's a crazy fucking premise. Like it really works. And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, this is original. Yeah, we'll get to that later. But yes, let's talk about it. What works for you guys? What do you guys want to start by talking about this movie? I mean, the kid actor is fucking amazing. He's really good in this movie.
Brandon Adams.
Yeah, and what else was he in? He was in the Mighty Ducks and
Sandlot.
Yeah, was he in the Sandlot too?
Yeah.
He started out in Pepsi commercials with Michael Jackson. He was breakdancing.
That's right.
That's where he got discovered, and then from that he ended up getting this role. This is, to me, I think this is his only starring role where he's the main actor.
Yeah. And he's really, really good. He's not obnoxious. You're on his side the whole time. Some kid actors, such as and Psycho Goreman, could be found as obnoxious. But for this, I mean, he killed it. And like you were rooting for him the whole time. He was funny. He was charismatic. And whenever he was scared, you were scared for him. Like you were totally there the entire time. The journey that he goes through this. What else? I mean, what do you guys?
I think the movie does not work at all if the two lead actors aren't who the two lead actors are, and they're not allowed to go absolutely ape shit over the top. Because I think even though I think the little kid was great, I thought Leah Thompson, early '90s Leah Thompson was really good as the sister. But the parents are the ones that make this movie work. And early '90s Michael Shannon was amazing. He just fucking, I mean, both of them were just so good.
Sinister and fun.
You're cutting them. You're not giving enough credit there, David. See, both of them were on the well, I guess you could call it a hit. They were both on Twin Peaks at the same time as this movie.
And they played husband and wife in Twin Peaks.
They played husband and wife, and their characters in Twin Peaks. Everett McGill is a much different character. He's still in love with his high school sweetheart who runs the diner. His name's Big Ed. And then his wife, who's here played by Wendy Roby, she has an eye patch. She's all sorts of fucked up. And this is a real departure from that show into the way they got into these characters.
But how sadistic and wild and crazy, and like how they celebrate like the deaths, like the daddy, which is David's name right now, how he dances around like I fucking got him, fucking got him, and all that stuff. It's so over the top and fun.
And then you find out that they're brothers and sister. Like that to me was like such an extra level of creepiness.
Yeah. And she specifically is aces. Like she's just so creepy at the end whenever she's saying like, you disobeyed your mommy. And the girl, Leah Thompson, like you said, it might as well be. She says, you never mind.
Sorry, guys.
Right on. And so, yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. Oh, let me mute you real quick, David.
No, it never did. No one ever called me back.
Hold on.
No one ever.
Yeah, let's get on this.
He's muted.
We'll be mommy and daddy now. We'll listen to their conversation.
What's going on? The David Jessup and the walls.
Here's a couple other notes for her in particular, in case I want to see if any of y'all caught this. Did any of y'all notice that throughout the entire movie, she never once uses profanity?
Yeah.
No, I did not catch that.
She one time she does. She says "caca" because she doesn't want to say shit.
I meant to clip that because it was hilarious.
I always thought that was weird, the fact that she used that word, and that was like the one scene that really stuck out to me when she used the word "caca."
Well, she tried to use another word,
But
yeah, that didn't work out too well for her.
Thank God. But she they're in some sadistic weird way. She truly believes she's a mother, not only to the daughter but to all the children in the basement.
She runs the house because even he takes after her.
Oh God, it's so creepy.
He's afraid of her.
Yeah. Well, there's that creepy scene where he's going in the attic and the girl's tied up to the brick, or she's pretending she is, and he grabs his dick. And I thought that earlier. I was like, is there something sexual to this relationship? And that was just enough to tip it over the edge. And then whenever she calls for him to come down, I was like, oh, this guy he's totally, cucked isn't the right word, but he's controlled by this woman.
Emasculated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
she's the boss of the house for sure.
And it's crazy. And then when he grabs her by the neck and starts choking her, I'm like, ooh, this is intense. What's going to happen? And then thank God he got a brick thrown in his fucking face because I hated him, but yet I love the villains of this movie because they were just so much fun.
They were so great. I'm not gonna lie. Even it was like, okay.
When you were a kid, did you feel the same way too, or just as an adult watching it?
When I was a kid, I really did love. I thought they were so fucking interesting, and I found them to be hilarious. But watching this as an adult, I'm like, okay, I fucking see it now. I fuck with these two a lot. They're great.
I want to say too, I really like Leroy. And Ving Rhames fucking kills it. Leroy, you think he's going to be a main character. It's such a wonderful twist on what's happening, the fact that he gets killed. But like he gets the best lines in the movie next to the villains, you know what I mean? Whether it be, I mean, I clipped a bunch of them, so we'll get to those. But like when he's just fucking with Fool, you know what I mean? Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
When as Dave and I were watching it, and one thing I really wanted to point out to him, and I wanted him to see this, is that, you know, in the beginning, he's your typical Ving Rhames, you know, with all of his lines and his bravado and everything. With the sister played by Kelly Jo Minner, who was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. You know, she was she was in summer school. She definitely had a lot of 80s credit. And you know, he's like rough with her, but not abusive kind of thing going on. He's not, but they're not dating, but he's looking out for her. It's just a really, you know, unique relationship. And he's so bravado. And then all of a sudden, when Fool comes up on him, when his head's in that little like cubby, and then he gets him out and he starts telling him what's going on, the dread on Ving Rhames' face was absolutely believable. Some of the best acting I would say in the movie as a whole. And from him then until obviously his demise, I just thought he really just killed it.
He was the star of the movie up until he was gone.
That was a great
nice.
scene.
He handed it off to the kid very well, I felt like. And like you said, seeing him brutalized and then seeing Daddy eat like part of him and then throw it to the people under the stairs. That was horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Javi, I want to ask you this. You grew up in the projects of New York, right? Mm-hmm. Was this a good representation of the projects in any way at the beginning of the movie?
It was like projects in LA, but yeah, there was like fucking urban. It was like urban. I know I lived in the Beach Channel projects growing up, and across the street, right by we lived in a dead end street. Other than we were like settled by the bay. Across the street were like a whole bunch of rundown houses that people lived in. Like I lived across the street from my first grade teacher, and she lived in an absolute shack. And across the way from her, like a few houses down, was a fucking straight up crack house. And then, like, at the corner of that place was, like, a really nice-looking house that was a little bit creepy. But, yeah.
Was that the house, though, that in the street that everyone talked about? Because there is that house everyone has in the neighborhood where they're like, don't go in that house or something weird wrong.
In Perth Amboy, there was a house like that the kids would talk about, like, that fucked up shit happened there. And that was on High Street. It was a street that was parallel to the waterfront. And supposedly, this fucking husband just, like, fucking whacked like his family and a few neighbors at a house party in this house.
What?
Was it an urban legend, or did you find out to actually be true?
No, it was an urban legend. It didn't happen.
Because literally, in my street in Plano, 4 houses down, we had like the classic rundown ratty house. It was the urban legend house, and people would dare you to go, you know, ring the doorbell and run and stuff. And it was pretty terrifying. And when this movie came out, we felt like, oh my God, we get to live it. we all talked about it on Monday, because like just me and a few other buddies were all big into horror movies. And so we're like, oh, did you see it? Oh my God. Blah, 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 blah.
Did you ever go in the house, Jay? Or
We actually did go into the garage back in 1992. This movie gave us the courage to see what's up, and we totally got busted. And it was just a shitty rundown house, and they were trying to sell it. And it was in 1992, America was going through a pretty decent recession, and so they were having a hard time with it. So it was actually more tragic than scary. Yeah. And I actually grew up. I felt like the Wonder Years for a little bit, but I heard Daniel Stern narrating this time.
and that's the day that Jay found out that not everyone lives so well.
You turned Daniel Stern to Morgan Freeman.
My bad. That's the day.
No, I fucking love it.
Greg, how about you? Did you have a house in the street that freaked you out that you didn't go near?
No, I guess I got lucky. I'd always heard about that in neighborhoods, but yeah, no, I just I grew up in a regular neighborhood.
Yeah. How about you, David? Did you have one?
We don't, but I have one in my neighborhood now.
Yeah, you are that house now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, when Lindsay and I go on our walks, there's a house that I'm like, there's bad stuff that goes on in there. Yeah, you know, where it's just the weeds are overgrown and there's cars in the driveways. You know, people are live there, but it is like, and they have like a Christmas tree is still up and it's got decorations on it and the window, you're like, oh man, there's something bad in there. And
House
just
of
like,
a Thousand Corpses style.
Really, really is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy. We had a haunted mansion where I grew up. And yes, we did some B&Es and we went in that bad boy, and it was scary and wonderful. We went ghost hunting in there, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that out loud on the internet if anyone ever watches this. But it was totally creepy and great. It was a mansion from the 1800s, and it is falling apart, and it's so Victorian style, like beautiful inside. And like I said, we used to go in there and take tape recorder and go looking for ghosts, and it was so badass. And then in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, there was a house I used to pass by the hospital, and I just got bad vibes from that house. Something about it. Every time I passed it was like, it's no good. It's no good. And then about a year after I lived there, I was watching a documentary called Dear Zachary, and that house pops up in the documentary. And the guy who lived there was killed, and his body was placed in the local park. And the documentary is about his death and what happens afterwards. So highly suggest watching it. It's called Dear Zachary. You can see the house.
Well,
and on top of that,
the Dear Zachary house was the house you B&E'd?
No. I never went in that. I used to pass it on the way to my job. Okay. And I used to think, oh my God, there's something wrong with this house. There's something creepy about this house. I don't know what it is, but there's something about getting those vibes. There's something to that. So I totally believe in that. And that giant drink Greg's got too.
That mansion that you used to be in E.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I had a joke in there. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh, it's all good. All right, back to the movie. What else? Roach. We got to talk about Roach, of course, the hero of the movie, and some sort of Rest in peace, Roach. The actor is a character actor. He's been in a ton of films. What jumps to mind immediately is Idle Hands. He's one of the cops in that movie.
Twister, man.
What's his name, Jay? Do you know what his name
is?
Oh
man, I think his first name is Steven, but let's go double check.
Okay. He fucking kills it. And the role of Roach was originally it could be male or female.
Whalen?
Sean, I think that's right. But Hilary Swank originally auditioned for the role of Roach also, because it could have been a male or a female. They didn't really care at the time.
And that's how she got the role for Boys Don't Cry.
And Karate Kid Part 4.
That's such a rough movie. Holy shit.
It really is.
I got a vibe from Roach that he was kind of like Peter Pan, and that he kind of got to escape, and all the Lost Boys are beneath him, and he kind of watches out for him. I think he's kind of their protector in a little ways. Mm-hmm. And also, you look at Alice, and when she says, "Oh, he's chasing Roach again," and you see that little smile she gets, like Roach aggravating her father or her, whatever, is one of the only times she gets to experience joy in her life. And I always thought that was a very interesting choice.
And he doesn't give a fuck about that house. He's shotgunning that house left and right and just blowing out fucking walls and stuff like that. And so that cracked me up too. And how do they not hear that? The house isn't that big. I mean, it's big.
It's soundproof though.
Oh, is it? I missed that part.
Yeah. When he saw the cops, he was banging on the window screaming for help. The cops didn't hear shit. They didn't even hear the bangs.
Yeah, and that's why she says, "Don't shoot the gun outside. Never shoot the gun outside."
Yeah.
So that's one of the interesting things about this movie is, like, to me, the main characters are the little black kid, the little girl, the parents, the dog, and the house.
Oh,
those two. Those are such. The house has such a personality to itself. It gets angry. It gets scared. Like when it's scared, it seals up. When it gets angry, it drops its stairs. It's like. It has an inside. It has a stomach that has things inside of it that are trying to get out. And why the fuck did that guy give all those kids so many flashlights? What the fuck was up with that? How many batteries were they going through on a weekly? Was she like, you have to go get more batteries? Why? Because those kids have 47,000 fucking flashlights down there. It looked like a Duran Duran music video.
Well, I mean, that's the social commentary, though, of the movie. The movie is supposed to represent the United States, in our state that it was. And at that time, it was supposed to represent in some way the Reagan, or the mom and the dad, or the brother and sister, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, shoot, dude. Okay. So obviously, I think we can all agree this movie definitely inspired Get Out. Can we all agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
And so, Get Out, the bad guys in Get Out are definitely what you'd call, virtue signaling, liberals they're definitely the ones that they're painted out to be. This movie, these are right wing, these are Republican. They would definitely have voted for Trump. They love their guns.
They're watching footage of the Gulf War
and showing it to the kids.
It's on a loop.
Okay, that's pretty fucking interesting because that kind of like plays back to Malcolm X quote, where he said the American liberal is not a friend to the black community because they're like, he essentially said you're wolf in sheep's clothing. But he said that the conservative American is just like they'll bring that hatred right to your face, just like these two did. And in Get Out, they lured him in with all this wokeness. Well, we're cool with you, bro. Here, fist bump. But yeah, you're black. So
I'd have voted for Obama a third time if I could.
Yeah,
I know that's my favorite line in that movie. That's such a funny line.
That's a good fucking comparison. Good pull, bro. Jeez.
Well, no, I mean it's. I mean, it has to be. I mean, like this is a groundbreaking movie. I mean, let's be real. This is a black child actor leading a horror movie.
Yeah, it's the lead. Yeah, it's amazing.
Have you? I mean, I can't really think of a lot of movies even since that have really gone that route. There's definitely a lot more, but this
Candyman has a black villain, but he's not the lead. The lead's a white female. You know, the lead in this is a black child.
Yeah, and it is about his struggle in race. Race plays a massive part. So, I mean, to give you a backstory, if you haven't ever seen this movie, basically what's going on is Poindexter, or Dexter, also known as Fool, his mom has come down with cancer, and the people that own his tenant are trying to get them out because they want to build up, they want to gentrify, which is a real problem that we deal with today in society. And he has to find a way to help pay the rent, basically. And that's the whole reason they go to this house. They're not going to this house strictly just to rob people. There's like a real goal in mind. And so it kind of has a little bit of a Goonies feel when you think of it in that regard, because they're literally looking for the treasure, to save their housing. And it plays a huge part. It's a big part of this movie is the search for wealth and try to break out.
I mean, like I said, the house itself is supposed to be in some way the country at that time, and the different levels of the houses are the different demographics of society. And it's interesting to see the wealthy. They live on the middle floor, but mostly the top floor. That's where you see the bedroom, and a lot of the action takes place, and a lot of the rivalry takes place upstairs. You know what I mean? Some of it in the middle floor, and then the bottom floor is supposed to be the poorest. You know what I mean? The demographic at the bottom. And so and Wes Craven even said that was his idea for the movie. That it's a culture war. And so at the end, whenever the people under the stairs, they escape, all they want is freedom. You know what I mean? That speaks for itself right there. I just want to be left alone, just want to go. And then also there is the idea of the consumption of wealth, with the house blowing up and the wealth trickling down finally. The idea of the Reaganomics not working, the trickle down effect, up until it's blown up. So yeah, there's a lot of social commentary in this. And that was meant to be there. And Wes Craven, I think he said this is one of his favorite movies because of that reason. Also, the low budget. He was very proud of what he accomplished for such a low budget, but he accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I want to ask this question. The buckshot meat, whenever we meet the villains and they're eating and he spits out the buckshot, do you think because he was a cannibal, that was somebody he had killed? And
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I want to say, like, why are they not noticing? Oh, never mind. I answered my own question. Why are they not noticing all these people going missing? Well, they're an affluent white family. Of course, that's the reason why. That's social commentary on its head right there. What else about the movie, guys? I'm kind of at an end. Like, it was fucking bonkers. This movie's so crazy. I tried to clip it, and it was next to impossible to clip because I wanted to clip everything because so much fucking happens. Go ahead, Hobbs.
Like there was like some comedic aspects to it that I really caught today. Like, this is like a little Evil Dead-ish, and I'm fucking for it, bro.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
It's very, very comical. That's what's so shocking about this movie is how funny it is at times, and you feel like, oh, this is like an urban Home Alone, and then it gets fucking gory as fuck. Like there were when the Ving Rhames, by the way, the Ving Rhames dead body. Props to the special effects department. That was legit.
And then when
Absolutely.
Roach lifts him out of the acid pit and he's
scare the other
scaring,
guys.
yeah, I was like, ooh, that's fucking nasty as hell. And I forgot to clip it. I went back. I was like, I got to get this. It was so cool. I also like the candle thing. I don't know what the commentary is on that, but having the coins in the candle, and as the candle burns away, the coins.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
What a cool misdirect. And I will say that's the one thing that's weird about this movie, but realistic about this movie. The pacing's weird because the kid gets caught, the kid gets away, the kid gets caught, the kid gets away, the girl gets caught, the girl gets away. Well, it goes back and forth a lot. And it's very cat and mouse with that. So I'm kind of back and forth on it, but like at the end, as a cohesive piece, it worked. That was the only thing I think I would have changed, was there wasn't so much get away. But it's also realistic because whenever Daddy shows up in the gimp suit with the shotgun, that's not realistic. But the fact that he gets his ass kicked a lot, that's pretty realistic. Like that's what would happen if you wore a gimp suit with a shotgun. Come on. Looks badass though when he comes out like, bro, you're like, what the fuck?
They'll talk about the mix of. I'm sorry, David. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, isn't it weird that Ving Rhames was in 2 movies almost back to back that had a gimp? I had the gimp outfit.
That's very true. That is very, that's we talked about that. We're like, after Pulp Fiction, he was like, all right, I got a no gimp suit clause and all that. But to mention back to what you were talking about, the connection between the humor and then the gore, I like to say sometimes with this movie, sometimes it tickles you and then sometimes it punches you right in the dick. Like it really, like within minutes, you're like, oh my God, it's Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead 2 and definitely Army of Darkness. The humor kind of gets to keep living. And in this one, it's like you get humor, then you get serious. Then you get humor, then you get serious again. Yeah. Like it won't let you, it really plays with your emotions. And it was probably the first movie I ever noticed that ever did that to me. I was never scared, but it definitely shook me. It definitely shook me.
Well, a little dose of sugar makes the medicine go down, if you will. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where you have to sprinkle in the fun with the seriousness to make a cohesive a piece that just becomes, it transcends because it's almost meta in a lot of ways. And the only other thing I could compare to the camp level was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, where it's so over the top, especially with the villains, that you celebrate them while despising them. And that's what's great. And I guess in a lot of ways, that's what we do with politicians too. So the Reaganomics kick back in too. We both love them and hate them in a lot of ways, or sometimes just hate them. What else about the movie, guys? Does anyone else have anything else? We've talked 40 minutes. That's pretty fucking tight. Like
I think it's weird that it doesn't have enough as much love as I think it needs or deserves. I mean, it was incredibly successful financial movie. I'm surprised that a sequel wasn't made, and it just doesn't. It seems like it's one of those films that's kind of like forgotten, you know, for how successful it was. And it was. I mean, it was number one for like almost a month in a row or something.
I mean, you know? $25 million past its production budget for a horror movie.
A horror movie that wasn't a franchise and that didn't come from like a comic book or like something like that.
Right.
I mean, the star power of Wes Craven, I think, definitely helped it. It was probably, I think it was his first movie after Shocker. I think Shocker was the most recent movie he did before this. Don't quote me on that. And that one didn't do nearly as well in the box office as this one. And I guess the only other thing I'd like to really say is this is one of those cool horror movies where you know, like you go to a horror movie, and if you're watching it and everyone's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? This movie answers a lot of those questions.
Yeah.
Like they make Fool makes a lot of smart choices that I don't think even someone older, a teenager, and I don't think that role could have been played by anyone that wasn't a pre-adolescent.
Yeah.
There's a certain arrogance that I think we get when we reach our teenage years that he didn't have yet, which totally let him survive. Like
the kid was smart. He wanted to get out of there. He like multiple times is like, we should leave. We should go. This is not safe. And then literally he was like, Mama didn't raise no fool whenever he was leaving the basement at that one point. And then he's like, you know what? I'm being a chicken shit. I should go back. And it was that pride that got him. I mean, thank God he survived. Like, because awesome character.
Jay brings up a really good point of the whole, like, when a horror movie does something and then you're like, oh, that never would have happened. I was watching this and I'm like, why don't they just jump out the window? And Jay's like, wait. And then she explains, well, the dad got rid of the pond and filled it up with broken glass or something. So that was really smart about it. The movie was almost made as they were making it. Wes Craven like took himself out of the director and put himself in as an audience member and would say, what would an audience member think right now?
Right.
And
such a unique vision. Like I said, I've never in my 36 years seen a movie like this. I've seen movies that deal with being stuck in the home, but this was like the first one, I think, because made in 91. I can't think of anything else before that was made about a home invasion that goes south,
Home Alone came out a year before it.
Yeah, but they break into the house and then they're stuck in the house. I mean, you call it like a different Home Alone, but this is totally different because the kid goes into the house and then can't get out. Like, that's so fucking crazy. Like, that's such a wonderful concept.
That's why I think that that's why I think the house has got a personality, because I love the gadgetry. It's almost like a 007 house. You know how like James Bond has all the gadgets? The house has all the gadgets.
Well, you say that too, David. This movie definitely inspired Saw. With those different contraptions and whatnot, and
Purge.
I also wonder if this movie took any. Do you guys remember that serial killer from the 1920s? I think his name was like Holmes or something.
We just talked about him too.
A whole bunch of fucking kill houses where he would like set up these rooms to kill people.
H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes. Yeah.
David, that's awesome. Yeah, we were literally.
Yeah, we went down that rabbit hole watching it because what's his face? Oh my God,
Scorsese and DiCaprio.
DiCaprio was supposed to produce and I don't know if direct it or produce it, called The Devil in White, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, The Devil in White, I believe it's what it's called.
Yeah, and so it was. I mean, this was supposed to come out or like it's supposed to be starting several years ago, but it's about H.H. Holmes. And man, I don't know if you guys ever listened to Dan Cummings. He has a great podcast called Time Suck, but he does a time suck on it, and it is amazing. And the internet has got some great actual diagrams of his kill rooms, and I mean it's insane what that guy did and got away with for a while.
For a long time, he killed a lot of travelers, a lot of young women. But yeah, the idea of being stuck in the kill house is so cool. And the fact that it was a kid that overcomes it, even better. You know what I mean? Like I said, if I was a little kid and I saw this movie, I'd been like, fuck yeah, kids rule.
I am surprised this movie doesn't have a cult following, though.
Like, and that's what David was saying.
No, it absolutely does. There's a rap group out of
LA,
called People Under the Stairs.
Yep.
The scenes, especially with the arms coming out of the walls, there have been countless homages to that. There really isn't enough. I think the person who doesn't get enough love in this is Fool himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a groundbreaking character. He just does it so well. Like when he wins, it just feels like and I'm telling you, again, I'm 10 years old again talking about this, but it's like, fuck yeah, finally. Because little kids in horror movies, they're fucking annoying. The Blob, perfect example. The two young brothers in that, or the two young boys in that, completely fucking annoying. Tommy, in Friday the 13th, Corey Feldman, completely fucking annoying.
The little kid in Near Dark wanted to fucking punch his face the entire movie.
Josh Miller.
Fucking hate that kid.
Yeah, he's actually the son of Jason Miller, from The Exorcist.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, I just man, I can't say enough things about Fool. He was a hero. He was a hero.
And what a name! That's so great to follow the tarot card and to have his name be Fool. Like that just made me happy the whole movie. And on top of that, like I lost my train of thought. He was just such a good hero. And when he puts those wires together at the end and he explodes the entire house, I was like, hurrah! This was great, and I was along for the ride the whole time. And I wanted him to survive. And Roach too. Sadly, Roach goes.
I think Roach had to die.
Yeah,
Roach had to die.
Had to be a sacrifice.
Yeah, he sacrificed so that Fool could move on.
Right. So, guys, anything else about the movie?
Like, I wish, like, I think I'm with Jay or David when they said, like, they should have, like, I'm surprised it wasn't a sequel. Like, instead of a sequel, I would love to see a prequel. Like, I would love to see, like a mini-series about those two.
You
about
might get your
Mommy
wish.
and Daddy.
Right now, Sci-Fi Network is working on a TV show. It was in the works before Wes Craven passed away. I think 2017 he passed away, but it's still in the works at this time. So
But,
we might get something.
Like, Dreamcasting for that, though, for me personally, I would love to see mid-90s era Will Ferrell and Anna Gasteyer. Like, do the
as Mommy and Daddy, that'd be.
Yes. For some reason, I got like Bobby and Jane Hope, like when they would play those people that would sing songs at like school functions and shit. For some reason, I just had Will Ferrell and Anna Gasteyer in my head for a prequel.
Well, I think David hit it on the head. The only pick I could see playing Daddy nowadays would be Michael Shannon. He's just
who do you pick for the mom?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
For Mommy, God, that's I'll have to get back to you on that. But you gotta. That's a special kind of like that breakdown that she has. Like,
oh my God!
Ready. I told David, I said, dude, this is
get ready.
Acting. This is acting, and she was so fucking good because she finally had it. David, when you were on the phone, I mentioned to them what I mentioned to you when I talked about how the entire movie she uses no profanity.
Yeah.
So she does speak quote unquote no evil, which is, one of the three, big themes of this movie. And so when she finally is ready to do it, it's like, oh, she's ready to fucking go off the deep end.
Yeah. And she was like when she says, the kids are going to be the death of me, that made me laugh. Like right there, I was like, oh, prophetic. It's about to happen. These kids are going to get you. And at the end, when they do, I was like, oh, this is great. It's so good.
Yeah, that was
so good to see the villains get their comeuppance.
It was really cool at the end when they all start breaking out from under the stairs and through the walls. It was really cool.
Literally, when the first one, the one that took over for Roach at the end, he gives a really weird look at the end where he's like, yeah, right on. And I clipped that. We'll get to that. But like when he comes out, bam! And I was like, oh yeah, motherfucker, let's bring this pain. And like some of them are creepy and they have like the stuff over their face. Like I showed Jay the poster the other day. I was like, I don't know, because I didn't know anything about this movie. And I told Jay, I was like, I said, I don't know what this poster is. It showed Roach and a bunch of the other kids under the stairs. But I said, this has got me pumped for this movie because it was punk rock looking. It looked cool as shit. And I was like, I cannot wait to find out what this is. And to say this movie did not disappoint me, like this movie was so fucking good. Like, I can't believe I've never saw this. It was so exciting to be able to experience it and just be like, wow, this is unique and different and a cool take on a horror movie. Like, it was so much fun. So much fun. We've got to share this with more people. I don't know what to say it. Like,
absolutely.
And another thing I also take away is like it's called People Under the Stairs, but the actual people under the stairs, they're really background players. Yeah. Like the story is they're just like they just seem like to be part of it. The real story is definitely that mom and dad. Yeah. They are the real meat and potatoes of everything that's going on in this whole entire thing. And when y'all said sequel, I did remember, and I think y'all remember, you never actually saw Daddy die.
Yep.
Well, he goes into the venom or the poison pit or whatever it is, but you don't see him die. You're right. You just see him going, so he could come back as deformed and evil and whatnot. That would be kind of cool. Speaking of sequels to movies, though, Candyman comes out on the 27th, so we also have to make a trip for that one.
Yeah.
Out there.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, let's wind it down. Let's talk about, do we recommend this movie? I think across the board we do, but let's find out individually. Greg McKinney. Greg, do you recommend The People Under the Stairs?
I would definitely recommend it. Whenever I was younger, it scared me and it entertained me in that way. And then watching it recently, again, it was more cartoonish to me. I love the character of Roach, the way he's always slipping away. He's like the road runner. He just scratches his way through the house and he's always evading Daddy. And I just thought it was hilarious. The brick down the chimney, I thought this is like Wile E. Coyote. Yeah. They're just, it's cartoons.
Yeah, it's so much fun. That cat and mouse. It was great. Yeah, dude, it's so good.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and the way Alice just so casually said, "Oh yeah, he's hunting Roach." It's just like another episode. He's going after him again.
This time.
Go ahead, Hobbs. What do you think?
I really did love the dynamic between Daddy and Roach. It's like you kind of tell they both kind of enjoyed the chase.
Yes,
Like,
yes, for
He's
sure.
laughing at him.
They fucking enjoyed it because
He enjoys hunting
He's
him.
like, oh, where are you? Where are you?
Mhm.
Like he's having the time of his life hunting Roach.
Hobbs,
He's
you
Elmer
recommend it?
Fudd.
Oh, sorry. Hobbs, you recommend it?
Absolutely. I fucking love this movie with all my heart. I recommend this to anybody. If I hate you, I'm still going to recommend it to you because I want you to have a happy life.
Hey, fuck off. By the way, watch The People Under the Stairs.
You're going to love it. But seriously, go die. But you're going to love this movie.
David, how about you? Do you recommend it?
Oh yeah, I think it's especially if you're a Wes Craven fan. I think it's definitely one of those films you have to see.
I agree. I'm going to say yes, 100% recommend. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. Or if I've seen things like it, this takes it to the next level. Just so much fun, ridiculously good. Jay, this is your movie. What do you say?
Dude, I couldn't recommend this movie enough. And I'm really hoping that there's like a 30th anniversary edition that comes out this year, because like that would be so amazing. Like a Blu-ray, maybe with a making of, talking to the actors, because everyone who's in this movie is still alive except for the director, Wes Craven.
Need that Criterion edition.
Oh, well, I'm here for it.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast.
All right, guys, let's get to some clips then. You guys ready?
Burn in hell.
Cool.
Real name's Poindexter, but we'll be hung up on them tarot cards.
All right, Buckshot.
Damn Buckshot.
Do we ever see that? Oh yeah, never mind. We see it in the fireplace.
Well, why did they throw a bunch of like bottoms of like a desk and stuff in there? I didn't understand what the commentary was on that. That was
Maybe burning the furniture of the houses they were gonna gentrify. I don't know.
Yeah, more wood.
More wood.
More wood.
All right, meter. I probably spelled that wrong.
Got an emergency? Need to check your meter.
Passed it on your way up the drive.
Oh, that one we've already got. There's one in.
Doesn't he look like Dante from Clerks?
He kind of reminds me of like a weird version of Kim Coates.
Okay, I can see that. I get a Louis C.K. vibe when I look at him.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yes.
LCK.
Inside the house that I need to check.
Yep.
There's none in the house. I'm quite sure of that.
Probably not even aware of it, ma'am, but it's on the master list here, and I'm gonna have to check it. See, the situation is we got a leak on the block, and it could be very dangerous.
Identification.
The fact is, we do have the legal right to come in, even if we do have to call the police.
Yeah, that's damn good, Jay. I was thinking Kevin Smith, but yours is better, Louis C.K.
Yep.
13th birthday. This is a great line.
Listen, Leroy. This breaking and entering might not be so smart. I mean, it's the first day of my 13th birthday. Could be unlucky.
13th birthday is unlucky anyway. Too old to get tit, too young to get ass. Fuck
Line of the movie.
Leroy
So great.
is a dick.
I don't think we should go up there, Leroy.
Oh, that's fine, girlfriend. I tell you what, you stay down here and you keep an eye out. You think you can do that?
What an ass. The boys.
The boys.
Mommy and Daddy looked a long time to find the perfect boy child.
Oh, speaking of which, I told my girlfriend what the basis of the story was earlier, and she's like, "Don't share anymore. That's too fucking scary." Like she's like, "That's."
Oh wow.
Because you think about it, they kidnap all these children and then they keep them in the basement. Like that bothered her emotionally. And the whole time I'm thinking like, oh, you don't know the meta-ness of this movie. You don't know how it's kind of campy and fun. Like the basic premise of this movie is downright scary and wrong. You know what I mean? And
it's it's basically trafficking.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. And so whenever she does this little speech here, like it took me back. I was like, oh wow, that is really horrible. But like the campiness of it and the meta-ness of it kind of takes over, and you don't view it as so bad, I guess, or maybe it is. I don't know.
I got a question, real quick. Does anyone see? I haven't been able to find a PSA anywhere, but in this time in the late '80s, early '90s, there were "Don't Talk to Stranger" PSAs all over the TV.
Yeah,
and this movie is definitely a reflection of that. And nowadays they don't really address it at all. So
why is that? Well, parents, I think adopted even more helicopter parenting than our parents had, because whenever I was raising a young one, I watched him all the time. Like he was never out of my sight, never played in the front yard, didn't play with the neighborhood kids. Like I think they scared us even more so. And so parents now are even more so scared.
Yeah, but I wonder if they gave up on it, because around that time too, there used to be like a lot of anti-drug PSAs. Now, where the fuck are those?
No,
it's the internet, man. Now we invite strangers to come drive us around, and hopefully they won't kill us.
Yeah, that's true. Also, doesn't she look like Anna Taylor-Joy, the actress, and the X-Men, the newest X-Men? What is it? The New Mutants, and also The Witch. Have you seen The Witch?
Yeah, you know that.
She looks like the lead actress from The Witch.
And Taylor-Joy, she's in another thing. She's in that new
the Queen's Gambit or whatever, the King's Gambit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's in that. Yeah.
The whole time I was watching this, I was like, she looks just like her.
But each one they found.
Monster House.
She looks like who?
She looks like the kid from Monster House, the animated movie.
Holy shit, she looks just like her. That's a scary fucking movie, man. That movie is fucking scary as shit, dude.
Monster House is, that's pretty creepy.
And that's a fucked up ending.
Another movie about that house in the street you don't want to go into.
Mm-hmm. Turned out bad. Some saw things they weren't supposed to. Others heard too much. Others talked back. Daddy cut out the bad parts and put the boys in the cellar, one by one. When they get flashlights and food of some kind, I suppose they're happy in their own way. Yeah, right.
Wait, you say flashlights? Okay, I'm in.
I think that's the first time I've ever remembered that she actually said that they get flashlights.
Yeah.
Also, Duck, do you recognize her?
No, what's she from?
You talk about the movie she's in a lot.
What is it?
She's one of the main characters in Arcade.
Bro, I kept wondering where I knew her from. I could not place it. Is she the main character or is she one of the ones?
She's one of them. That's AJ Langer. After this, she did My So-Called Life. That was her biggest claim to fame.
That is going to be one of my next movies. Arcade. We are going to watch that. It's going to be great. Daddy hates Roach.
Daddy hates Roach because he got out of the cellar and into the walls. And now Daddy can't find him.
I love how he's like mocking him in the walls.
You never catch me.
Yeah,
you wasted it.
Never gonna find me. Oh, it's great. And I love the fact that the house is so run down too. That's got to be social commentary of some sort. The fact that it looks good on the outside, they're in an affluent neighborhood, and yet it's a fucking mess.
Keeping up appearances.
The ball!
Right there.
You come in here and I'm gonna kick your ass!
Yeah, motherfucker.
He totally looks like the guy that flew around that helicopter in The Road Warrior. He has that same face. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Dog slide.
Do something!
All right, I love this dog.
Do you hear something?
Oh, he's so fucking cute.
This movie needs a laugh track.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Roach rules.
Rottweilers are adorable. They're scary, but they're fucking adorable. So cute. The dolls.
This Leroy?
She made that quick.
You did this? Why do you make
The
these?
hat work alone is intricate.
To hold the souls of burglars when they died. Or salesmen,
Oh.
workmen, other people who saw too much.
I like that
creepy.
idea that they're killing anyone too. Like people are just disappearing like crazy. The death of me. This is what I said before. The acting in this is great, and just seeing how prophetic it is makes me so happy.
You will do your chore now!
And she falls here.
Clean it up for God's sake! Stu, lazy brat sits in a room all day sewing dolls. Children misbehaving in the basement and one in the wall doing his business God knows where. You kids will be the death of me.
I keep them real hungry. Oh, Hobby, here you go.
He's like snacks while he was in the middle of doing his job, and she's like,
Yeah, the fact that it's so.
Keep them real hungry.
The corpse. This part bothered me too. This is really. I literally thought for a second he came back to life. I didn't know what to expect from the movie, but. So demented. Roach dies.
Roach!
Cucaracha! Amiibo!
The dance!
Prove it.
She just stares him down and gets him to stop just by looking at him. Just like decimates him with his stare. That's fucking insane.
Well, she's in control. I mean, she's the leader of the house. Prayer.
Down to sleep.
Now I lay me down to sleep.
I pray the Lord my soul.
And what a boss move to go back to the house after he already escaped. Like, he's like, I kept a promise. Only an adolescent would do that. You know what I mean? And he came up with the plan of calling the police and getting them to go in so he could sneak in. I was like, this is a boss move.
To keep.
If I should kill before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take.
I pray the Lord my soul
to take.
Oh, it got Greg! It got Greg! I saw it! All right. The creeper scene. Totally creepy.
Let me down, please.
Daddy!
Ugh.
Come down from there and help me to bed. Daddy!
RoboCamp.
Well, you know he was raping that girl.
Yeah, it's
So creepy.
Community.
You stolen the children from our community for your own sick needs.
There's no community here. All I see are a couple of...
Hey, Ruby! What? Right here!
Oh! I love the people talking in the background.
You
Yeah, that's fun.
Hey, look at her. What they doing to her there? What they doing to her there? Come on, girl. Hey.
So good. So good.
The commentary is great. The lock. Boss move right here.
They call me the Stairmaster.
The people under the stairs. Oh, baby! Pump, pump, pump. That's so awesome. You hurt mother.
You hurt your mother.
You're not my mother. Never were.
You're not my ma.
Oh, it's awesome.
The burning hell!
It is.
You know, I wonder if he was thinking, I want to do a cool entrance. I want to sneak up through the walls and come out through the cabinet, and they'll never suspect me. Oh, you guys are here already.
I got
the
this.
last one literally to the party.
All right,
He's like the creepy guy when you're having a gangbang. He's like, okay, when can I? Are you guys done yet?
You guys, anybody need a sandwich or something?
How we doing on lube? Are we good on lube? Okay.
Okay, cool. Is the pizza's coming, or do I need to go pick it up? Or...
Good form, Rick. Good form.
Are we doing gay stuff at all? No, we're not. Okay, cool. Sorry.
Cool, because I said if I did, I got an extra 20. I'm just
It's a group.
Gas money.
I mean, it was a group. I thought we were all grouping. I'm sorry. I just
Candle.
I know what you're doing. You're counting that money. You're letting it roll through your fingers. I've done it myself 1,000 times.
Hey, Duck, can you pause it?
Yeah.
So I was mentioning to David also when we were watching it. Looking behind him, and that's all the different pieces of the kids he's kept over the years, like tongues and whatnot, and it reminded us of The Fly.
Yeah, I was expecting Jeff Goldblum to come up and be like, "So that's it's a process of what you do. If you don't want to be a part of the dynamic duo, I'll find somebody else."
Jeff Goldblum in this role would have crushed. He would have crushed.
Amazing.
But I love Everett McGill.
What you want?
I love that. That's just so unique. I would never thought to do something like that. That cracked me up. Boom, baby.
I don't want to kill you, but I will because I don't like you much anyway. I'm tired of fucking around. So either put the gun down now or kiss your ass goodbye, boy.
I love that. Sizzle. So good. The sound, literally, that sells that at the end. That sizzle, that's so great. The end.
You okay?
Question mark.
I feel like $1 million.
Watch this gay ass look this guy's gonna make.
cue 90s rap song. Yeah, we are the people under the stairs, and we don't care, fool.
Motherfucker. Yeah, what a great movie. What a fun pick. Thank you again, Jay. That's so great.
Glad y'all enjoyed it.
Let's go to some recommendations real quick. We do have some today. So first one's going to be The Babysitter. If you never saw this movie, it was a Netflix.
Fucking love this movie.
Is this the one with Alicia Silverstone?
No, you're thinking of the 95 movie.
Oh,
this movie has, what's that chick's name?
She's
What's her
Margot Kidder.
Samara Weaving.
Yeah.
Samara Weaving, that's her name. She plays the
Ready or
babysitter.
Not.
This movie is
great movie too.
Awesome. That part right there is awesome too. But the movie itself is about a group of kids who come over to the house while she's babysitting, and the craziness that happens, you're seeing right there. And that poor kid right there gets 2 knives in the fucking head, and then the occult bullshit starts, and it fucking rocks. It is so much fun. It's so over the top, as you can see right there. It is just a great horror movie comedy, and I can't suggest it enough. And there's a sequel on Netflix at the same time. McG directed this. I've never been against McG. I think he's a great director. Everything he's ever made, I've had fun with. So definitely go check that out on Netflix as soon as you can. The second one I will recommend is going to be not the trailer for the people on the stairs, but the movie Don't Breathe.
Oh, yes.
Which is about a group of kids who are trying to rob somebody in a house. I can't remember the reason they're robbing him, but they decide to go into the house and try to get gold or whatever it is, some kind of wealth, and how the guy reacts. And the lead actor's name is, it's right there. What is his name?
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang. Thank you, Jay.
Tombstone.
And he also, he played Stonewall Jackson in one of the movies about the Civil War. He's just awesome in this movie. And
he's an Avatar.
Yeah.
And he's also the original Freddie Lounds in Manhunter.
Oh, yeah. Which is a great fucking movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Don't Breathe, definitely check it out. There is one specific scene towards the end of the movie that is so gross, so disgusting, that I recommend the entire movie just so you get to that point. And it has to do with a turkey baster, I believe. So watch the movie. That's all I have to say. Do you guys have any recommendations for this week?
Since we're doing home invasion movies, there's a Christmas home invasion movie, and I just blanked on it. But it's really, really good. It's kind of like the Babysitter type of thing, but it's a home invasion movie, but it's with a twist. And you guys do your recommendations, and I'm going to try to Google it real quick.
Is it Home Alone?
No, it's not Home Alone.
Anyone else have any recommendations?
In the same vein of sorry, go ahead, Jay.
No, go for it, Javi.
I was going to suggest Ready or Not. It's like a
great movie,
kind of like thriller, but it's also fucking hilarious at the same time. So I highly recommend it. It's about like Samara Weaving, who's in the Babysitter. She marries into like this family that built their money on board games. They have a tradition that whenever a new member gets married, they have to play a game on the wedding night.
Very cool. I heard about that. I heard it was good. Jay, what was your?
Oh, it's a great movie. Yeah.
Just a good 1-2 punch if you're looking for home invasion movies that are pretty atmospherical. I would recommend either version of Funny Games. Those are two of the best. The American version is literally a shot-for-shot remake of the original film. David, do you remember what language is it? French or the original Funny Games?
It's I believe it's Norwegian or Swedish.
Okay.
I don't think it's French, but I think it's one of those. But I highly recommend that too. The Christmas movie is called Better Watch Out. It's really, really fucking good. It's pretty new, 2017.
Right on. How about you, Greg? You got anything?
No, nothing from me. But some of these picks sound really interesting. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Funny Games piss me off so fucking much.
It does.
But it's natty, especially when you think yes, and then they fucking hit you with that fucking guts. You're like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
It's an aggravating movie for all the right reasons.
All right, right on. David, where can they find you on the internet, good sir?
Stop Motion Nightmares on Facebook, Children of Dave on Instagram. I'll be at Hyenas Fort Worth Thursday. I'll be at the Haltom Theater performing stand-up at a burlesque show on Sunday, if we don't all die of COVID before then.
And you can check us out at wearepodcast.podbean.com on the internet. We have We Are Air, We Are Bagu, Camp/Horrorcast, all the good stuff. Find us on all your social media at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at / We Are Podcast Network. Of course, you got to check out those Wapping reviews. I just put out a new one today on the Virtual Boy. Super excited to be doing those. And you can catch us every Monday for Camp/Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past, live at 8 p.m. Central Time. Next week will be Time Crimes. This movie is so good. Cannot wait to share it with you guys. I don't think any of you have seen it before, so excited for you guys to watch this movie and talk about it. It holds up. It is everything. I'm pumping it up, and I'm telling you, you're going to love it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it once again. With that, I'm going to cut the feed. Thank you guys again.
Bye, everybody. See you
Bye.
next week.
Oh, keep horror in your heart.
Keep it in your fucking heart.
Keep horror in your motherfucking heart. How do I always forget that?
Because you touch yourself at night.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp/Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv / We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com / We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, heroes, Gyros, dungeons, and distractions side quests. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at / We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.